Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio, where we are now in update 0.10.8. We had two updates in a day because there was a little bug that was very rapidly fixed by the developers. Well done to them. Not that much has changed really, it's all bug fixes at this point, just to clean things up and get ready for the stable release. So anyway, it's time to upgrade the iron production, because I was talking about that the entirety of last episode and saying it wasn't quite enough because Gears was taking it all. I didn't do anything about it, so I've added in another mining drill just to increase the rate of production there, and that will obviously help. And then I decide to set up some production for stone bricks, because there's a couple of uses for them that have started to crop up now. We get some science done as well, and I start researching advanced material processing too. And this is a bad idea because I've researched this, and I also researched advanced circuitry. But the thing is, both of those things require plastics, and for plastics you need oil, and I haven't done any research in the oil industry yet, and I've sort of messed that up, and I'm researching a lot of pointless stuff. I should be doing oil first so that I can get that set up, ready for when I actually start using circuits and things like that. But anyway, we get some bricks made, and I can use those to make some better furnaces, the steel furnaces, and they will smelt the iron twice as fast, so that we don't have to add any new furnaces in. Though of course it will use up, I think, twice as much coal anyway. But whatever, it's more compact or something. So with the increased iron flow, it looks like the inserters can't deal with it anymore. So I decided to just take those out and have the iron go straight through, and then the buffer system can be on the corner, so that it doesn't interfere, and that'll be fine. And then we can carry on, grab some more steel so that production continues. And I also dump some random bits in the storage chest that I've got there, and then I can run along and grab a ton of iron as I go to replenish my supplies, because I'm running out all the time, and I need to get more stocks up, so I keep grabbing more. And it's a problem because it means that everything goes onto the belt that doesn't do anything for a while. But anyway, I decided to wander up here, but I find that there's actually some worms that have appeared, and they weren't there before. So I try running in and just shooting one, and it doesn't go too well, and I end up running off, and deciding that I'm not quite ready to deal with worms yet. But anyway, look at this here. It's an apple, or possibly an orange, but it's an apple shape and an orange colour. One of my subscribers pointed that out, which is pretty cool. I sort of don't want to mine it now. But anyway, I run over here, try and kill some biters, and make a horrible mess of it and nearly die. Because what I'm doing is I'm firing my standard ammo with my pistol to try and get all that used up. So that in the middle of whatever battle I use it up in, I can switch to the machine gun with the armor-piercing ammo. But it turns out to be a bad idea, and I nearly get myself killed. So I decided to not bother attacking biters for now, and go back to working on the line. And there's a bit of upgrading to do with circuit production to get that going a bit faster. And then I have a look around at green signs and see how that's going, and it all looks good at the moment. The supplies are keeping up with the extra iron production. It's getting through to circuits, and circuits are working now. I have a look at copper, because I'm not actually sure if it's still increasing or not, because I never take anything off the line, but then it's not filled up yet, so maybe I should try upgrading the production there. But anyway, there's a lot of stone bricks been produced now that I can start to take siphon off and use for other things, like more furnaces. I decided to actually increase the iron production even more, because might as well really, because I could upgrade more of the furnaces to the steel furnaces and not take up any more room. At some point this whole system will be removed, though. I'll replace it with electric furnaces and things like that, and the ores will be mined away, and I'll have to bring them in by train and things like that, because of course this is supposed to be a series about trains. So far there haven't been any, because I haven't researched them yet, but I'll get there. I've just got oil to do first, so that I can get some green signs going and things like that. Anyway, have a look at the map and see how things are going there. Have a little zoom in and look at where the biter bases are, because our pollution cloud is expanding, and it's getting a little bit concerning. And I do need to make sure that it doesn't get too far. But anyway, we'll upgrade the power a little bit, just to keep things going as I slowly increase the number of things using power. Steel's going fine there. Just a quick inspection. Grab some more stone bricks as they're made, and carry on with that. So running down the line again, just to check on production and things like that, and see if there's any work that can be done. And also I need to grab a ton more iron. I just take the whole line away, so the system's not going to be working right for a while now. But it looks like we've built up a well, we did build up a bit of a supply of circuits, and then I nicked them all because I want those as well. And I decided to extend the line a bit. One day this line will go for ages and have all of this different production going on alongside it. But anyway, we finally got the material processing or whatever it is done, so we can now start working on oil and actually get that set up, because at the moment there's not much to do really. I've set up red and green signs, and I can't set up blue until I've got the oil system, but I haven't researched it yet because I'm an idiot. So what I decided to do is hook up steel to the main line, because so far it's being produced but it's just going into a chest at the moment, and at some point we're going to start using it, I suppose, when we actually can do blue signs. So I get a conveyor belt going all the way back to where steel is produced to get that going underneath the iron belt, and then I just need to get rid of the chest and the inserter, and there we go. The steel is now running down the line. Get the system set up so that it gets split evenly between either belt. And then I ended up with a bit too much steel in my inventory, because when I broke the chest I ended up with all of that in my inventory. I like to have 2 stacks, so I just empty some of it into furnaces and the rest just onto the belt, so it can all empty out and go down the production line. So I decided to add some more to copper production, because just in case we need it. At the moment it doesn't look like it, but we might as well add some more in. At some point circuit production will need upgrading to start supplying more things, and then we'll need more copper for that and things like that. Running back and grabbing more copper. No, I said it again. I said copper instead of coal. I always do that. It's really annoying. But yeah, I grabbed more coal, and I can make my way back over to the furnaces, and I'll be able to resupply them if they need it. And I find that now with the upgrade to copper, the inserters can't quite deal with that, so I upgrade those to fast ones. At the moment I don't need to get rid of the inserters. It's half of the stuff is placeholder stuff at the moment. This main line is where all of the sort of permanent stuff is, and even then it's going to be upgraded later on and things like that. So anyway, I was finding that iron wasn't getting to gears, but that was because the other line was still filling up. Once that filled up, everything was going onto the line that was feeding gears and circuits, and that went back to normal, so that's all fine. And then circuits started flowing through and supplying the inserter production again, so that's all good. And then it goes into green science, and that goes into research, and so on. And there we go. Research is done. We got oil processing done, so we can start setting up that system. But I made another mistake. I started researching plastics next, because I wanted to get onto circuits, but I wasn't thinking about it, because the thing is, that means I don't have fluid handling, which is kind of important, because it's got storage tanks and things like that, and I want to set up the oil storage system before I start taking it and turning it into plastics. So again, I've researched the wrong thing, and I'm going to have to wait until that's finished, research fluid handling, and then have that finished so that I can actually work on the thing I'm researching now. But whatever. So I've picked my location for the oil processing area, and it's a long way sort of back towards the sea, because I'm finding this sea seems to go on forever, which is good, because it means that I can send as much pollution out over it as I want without having to worry about it. Maybe I should even move the steam engines over to here. It'd probably be a good idea, though of course it's a bit far away from everything else, and biters might take it out or whatever. So anyway, I've got all these pump jacks crafted, and it took a while, because it always does take ages to craft pump jacks, and I should probably set up an assembler that makes them, but then it doesn't seem worth it, because I only need a few as time passes, but whatever. So we get our refinery set up. I've sort of chosen the location for there, and I've decided on where I'm going to have the storage area and everything. And I'm realizing that I'm kind of underestimating the size of this area, because because I'm thinking, oh, it's all dotted with lakes, I can't put anything there, and I'll not have enough room to expand. But I'm coming to realize that actually the gaps between these lakes are massive, and you can actually fit a ton of stuff in them. You could build a factory like between any 2 lakes that are here, if you were doing it in a compact fashion. But I'm not. My factory is going to be absolutely sprawling and massive and totally space inefficient, and I don't care. So anyway, we get the oil refinery hooked up to the actual oil supply and up to the power grid and everything like that. We had to use all the basic power line things to connect it all up, because at the moment I don't have anything better, but whatever. Make my way back just to... Actually, I don't know what I'm doing at that. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I finished hooking that up, and until I have fluid handling, there's nothing I can add to there, so I just have to go on and get on with some other stuff. So I refuel all of the furnaces and so on, end up running out of coal again. It seems like every time I refuel, it turns out I need more coal than I've arrived with, so I run off and grab more of that. It's not a major problem, because everything's still really nicely fueled. And I decided to add some new steam engines in, just plonk those two down, and now we're using both of the sets of boilers fully, which means that we might have trouble expanding later, but I'm going to try and get solar before I start using any more power. But at the moment we don't need the power generated by those steam engines, it's just there for the sake of being there when we expand and things like that. So anyway, looking around science, I decided to increase the rate at which green science is being produced, and that should better balance with red science, and then we might be able to add some more labs in. And I decided to harvest a bunch of materials off the lines as well. I take a ton of gears and circuits and steel and so on, and what I'm trying to do is get up to my preferred like inventory filledness. I don't know what you call it, my preferred inventory setup, I suppose, which is to have 5 stacks of iron, 4 stacks of copper, 2 stacks of steel, and then a stack each of gears and circuits, though sometimes I wonder if I should have a second stack of gears because they are used for a lot. So I get most of the way there, and I also start crafting a bunch of guns because I expect that soon we're going to have to start dealing with the biters. The pollution cloud is continuing to expand, and effectivity modules and solar power are nowhere in sight at the moment, so we should probably start working on that. So I decided to start setting up walls and everything, and I start by going over to the oil production because that's far away from where I'm usually going to be, and it means that it takes a while for me to respond, so I should set up the defenses there first. Because the thing is, if they attack the main production line, I'm usually there at the moment, so I can just deal with them as they come. But I do have some guns there as well. So plastics gets researched, and now we can start working on fluid handling, so that we can actually get the storage system set up for the various fractions of oil. You can see that I'm setting up a big long wall here, though I run out of stone bricks pretty quickly, because at the moment our production system for that is a bit rubbish and slow. It's just the most basic you can have, really. I might upgrade it at some point just so I can get things a bit quicker. I mean, there is a stone deposit right there next to where I'm building the wall. But anyway, I've set up some guns there for now, and the spacing is a bit wide, but at this level, at this like part of the game, that's not going to be a problem. Later on, when the biters get bigger, we might need to reinforce the wall and things like that. That is, if they are still angry with us. I'm going to try and keep the pollution cloud down as I did in the previous series, because I like to play that way. So anyway, having another look at production and seeing how things are going there, and because I took everything off the iron line, it's not there's not enough going onto the line for gears and circuits to keep circuits going, but whatever. It'll back up and start supplying again, and for now I think there's a stock of circuits already on the line to keep things going, maybe. And anyway, I decided to set up some more labs just to get things moving quicker. I want to get fluid handling done quickly so I can start working on that, get plastics done, and then advanced circuits, and go from there. And I want to get rails as quickly as possible as well. So anyway, I decided to go down and attack some biters. There's some down here that I can go for. So I use up all the standard ammo in the pistol and start using the submachine gun and absolutely murder everything. So I should probably have done that sooner. So I put the pistol in my inventory because I'm not going to use that thing again. And start crafting a bunch more ammo as I run along to my next target. And there's a big iron deposit down here that I want to keep clear of enemies. So just run in and take out the biter base up here. Once I've gathered the alien artifacts, I can go down to this one over here and take these out as well. And then the output, well, it's not an outpost yet. The deposit is clear for me to use, and that is a very big iron deposit as well. We're going to be using that for the majority of the game, I expect, which sort of ruins the whole trains thing. I'll have to do something about that. Maybe continue after science is done or something, or produce a bunch of nonsensical items. That's something I've done in a different playthrough because I wasn't happy with the end. It came too soon. I was only just starting on my rail system, so I just took off all the limits on chests so that random crap would be produced forever. So anyway, I decided to go and deal with these worms again. I feel more confident, so I go in and after... Well, you don't need to know about that, actually. We'll forget about that. It wasn't important. A dream or something, whatever. So anyway, going back over to the coal area, I'm restocking on coal, though it turns out I'm already restocked, but whatever. I went over there anyway, and whatever. So we get some research done. We get fluid handling done, which means we can now go and work on the oil area and get all that sorted out. So I start crafting a bunch of storage tanks and underground pipes and normal pipes and everything. Run over to the area that I have designated for storage and clear some trees out and so on, so I can start putting them in. And I'm using these I'm using the tanks to sort of measure the distance between each set of tanks. So that's the spacing I've gone for. It's sort of arbitrary, really. Just enough space to like fit assemblers in between and stuff. Well, chemical plants, I suppose. If I ever decide to, though, probably not. Maybe I probably would have needed more space, honestly, to fit them in properly. But anyway, we start getting all these pipes hooked up, and the thing is, the refinery is pumping them out backwards to how I want them to be. I want the petroleum gas to be on the left side, so it's nearer to the base, and there's more space on that side to actually make things out of it. Because with I mean light oil and heavy oil, it's more important well, it's less important to have them ready to hand. So anyway, I'm getting all these pipes connected up and trying to work out how to get them all swapped over and everything, and also making sure that they don't connect up, because the last thing you want is to have the wrong oil in the wrong place or anything like that, and having it mix or whatever. So I get it all connected, hook it up, and then realised I've messed it up completely, and I put heavy oil in the middle and light oil on the right when I wanted them the other way around, because I'm an idiot. So I start trying to fix this, and I'm getting rid of the tanks and then replacing them, but then they fill up with the oil again, and it shows how much of a pain it is to actually empty a system of oil. I accidentally connected it up to an underground pipe there, and it filled up again, and I had to deconstruct half of them again. And basically, you have to deconstruct the entire pipe system and rebuild it if you want to swap the type of liquid in it, or you could get a pump that slowly empties it, and it'll take a million years. But anyway, I eventually work my way back through and get it all deconstructed so I can hook it up properly, and then we have the oils in the right place. So with that done, I can start working on plastics. So I craft the chemical plant that I will need for it, and then I need to run over and grab some coal, because you need coal to make plastics as well as petroleum gas, and then I have to get that hooked up to power and things like that, and then get it brought over to the actual area. Lots of conveyor belts, and I'm using tons of them right now, and it's annoying, really. I want to use trains. That's the whole point of this. So I might even have trains like transporting between the oil area and the production line. That's how far away they are from each other. But anyway, I'm just working out where to position this to try and make it expandable for later on, but I'm not really sure like the way in which I'll do it. So I just end up plonking it down and thinking, I suppose with all the space that I've got around here, I can put it in a better position later, that I could fit one on at least. Or maybe more, actually. Looking at it, I could probably expand it a bit, but I don't know. So anyway, we carry on connecting all that up, but we run out of conveyor belts after a bit, so we just hook up what we can, and then we have to run back and grab some more iron. So off we go back to base, so we can sort of resupply our materials, getting it all off the line and so on and so forth. Crafting some inserters, because I realised that I've not upgraded the inserters on these furnaces. And then we have a biter attack, the first one of the game. So I quickly make my way over to the production line and find out what's going on. And it turns out they ran straight for the turret, which was lucky. Or maybe that was what they were coming here for anyway. But whatever happened, they were dealt with by the turret, so that's good. So I decide that we need some more defences now that the biters are actually actively running at us, because so far the only people doing any aggression have been me. Bit mean, really. I suppose I did a bit of a preemptive strike, and then they sort of retaliated to that or whatever. So we get some turrets just plonked down around the production line in some sort of vaguely covering pattern that should hopefully protect it nicely. And then I can carry on working on what I was working on before. So I'm crafting ammo and things like that as well, because I've just put all that in the guns. And I start working on connecting up the plastic to the conveyor belts, because that's what the conveyor belt next to steel is going to be for. So I start working my way back and sort of working out how I'm going to connect it together and everything, underground belts and all that. The thing is, it's a bit more of an awkward positioning, because steel has sort of already occupied the place that would make sense for it to go in a way. We want it to, well, I don't know what I'm really going for in terms of how it's going to be connected up. So I go back over to this area and start connecting it from this side as well. Get all this going on, run out of belts again. But it's set off now, so that's good. Check the levels of the different oil fractions and so on and so forth. Start crafting a bunch more belts, but the thing is, we're coming to the end now, so there's not enough time to actually finish off that. But that's something to do at the beginning of next episode, so I don't just kind of wander around aimlessly wondering what to do. So anyway, I'll just take you back to the production line so you can see it as it develops and so on. And I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time